back, everyone, to Ladies' Night. We're happy to be back with you for another night. We will, at least I will, try to speak louder so that you can hear us. Our microphone that we had got us through how many months before?
It broke down.
Yes. It did not want to make a resurgence with this resurgence. So
it died with the first.
We don't blame you.
So I will try to speak up so you can hear us. Thank you for tuning in again to tonight, or well, yeah, it is tonight. It'll be on tonight. For you guys, it's Thursday. Sorry, I'm on.
It's Tuesday.
It's already been a long week.
That's true.
Tia said that. She goes, I think I'm just going to be tired all week. I was like, good, you're a first year teacher.
Just accept it, yeah. All right, so we tonight are going to talk about Thanksgiving and something that we are looking forward to next week, and we hope you guys are too. We're going to share some of our favorite memories of Thanksgiving, and then we're going to talk about what we're thankful for this year and what we're looking forward to this Thanksgiving, and then also sharing some Bible verses about Thanksgiving. So, do you guys want to start, or do you want me to?
Everyone loves a good Irwin story.
Go for it.
I can't think of a specific Thanksgiving that is life-changing. But if you're ever looking for a place and you think to yourself, where do I want to go on vacation for Thanksgiving? It should be the city of Detroit. Detroit leads the world in like murders and a lot of great things, but it does Thanksgiving so well. So, first off, it's like the only day no one's killed in that city. I'm pretty confident.
Because they're too thankful.
Because they're too thankful for Thanksgiving in Detroit. And they have a 5K, 10K, half-mile race called the Turkey Trot, right? And that's a big deal. Then you have the Thanksgiving Day Parade, which is 700 times better than Macy's. Don't waste your time. Tune into Detroit news. And then the Lions play every year. Now, Irwin family, a tradition is you go to the Lions game. So we have 4 family season tickets. We've had them since before my dad was born. So it's kind of a big deal. And it used to be only the boys because there's only 4 men in our family. But I cracked that glass ceiling sometime around the age of 18. I was like, I am going to this game. So I think for me, when I think of Thanksgiving, I just think of all that like excitement in downtown. Because it is a place that is just always so sketchy. I have no other word to describe it. Detroit is scary. Detroit is sketchy. Sometimes we would go to the Detroit Athletic Club, which is right by Ford Field. And that's where I saw my first homeless person on a Thanksgiving. He had no legs.
Aww.
That's about all I remember. And he asked for $5 and I got really scared and naturally thought he was going to follow me home.
Aww, yeah.
Without any legs.
He was in a wheelchair.
Okay.
It's okay. But I do remember the year I was in 6th grade, we went down and we stayed overnight at the Detroit Athletic Club. So they have like suites. And my whole family, my uncle, my aunt, my cousins, we all stayed down there and we like woke up and we did brunch and we went to the game. And my family is very small. I only have 3 cousins. Okay, we don't have the 6 of us, like my immediate family is 75% of the entire family.
Oh,
so I mean, if we don't show up, there is no party. But Thanksgiving was always a holiday we got together with my dad's family. So I think about that and how thankful I am that I did have that time, because the matriarchs of our family are my grandmother, my great aunt Barbara. She's kind of like Mary Poppins. And they're almost in their 90s. And so I'm so thankful I had all those Thanksgivings with them. And so that's a big blessing. So I'm sorry I don't have a better story, but go to Detroit. Oh, a tradition Nate and I have started is we do walk a 5K every Thanksgiving. Last year I gimped, so I did not walk a 5K. But this year that was my goal, that I was going to walk a 5K by Thanksgiving. So if you see me crawling through Battle Creek, please bring me my bike so I can get myself home.
That's fun.
Because come on, to help me, Nate. You'll be like, okay.
You can take Clue with you, and Clue can just drag you.
Come on.
Oh, I think with Thanksgiving, kind of like what you said, there's not like any like standout Thanksgiving that comes to mind. We would always get together for the most part with my grandma Neatfelt. So my grandma had 3 boys, so those 3 sons and their families, we'd always get together and go to Grandma Neatfelt's house for Thanksgiving growing up. Over the last, I don't know how many years, With Grandma getting a little bit older, my mom and dad have hosted, and when I say mom and dad, mostly mom because she puts the food together. And so Heidi and I would frantically help mom clean and get things ready. But I can always remember just the whole night, leading up to Thanksgiving Day, you could smell the turkey in the house. Mm-hmm. You'd wake up in the middle of the night and you'd smell turkey and you'd be like, okay, it's 3 a.m. and there's turkey smell in the house. That's just kind of an odd feeling. It's a weird, I'm not hungry right now, but I can smell the turkey. Mm-hmm. So every time, the last 2 or 3 years when we've had Festmahl here and Steven's like, I'm going to make a turkey. The same feeling. I'll wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. and I'll be like, why can I smell turkey right now? First of all, it reminds me of Thanksgiving when it's not Thanksgiving yet, because Festmahl happens earlier in the month for church. But then the next thing I think of is, this is gross, I'm not hungry right now. But I mean, it smells great in the morning. So that's the one thing that I always am thinking with Thanksgiving. We always make way too much food, every time. We'll have 12 or 13 people there, and it's grown a little bit with spouses because my cousins have gotten married and we've gotten married. But we always make way too much food. And my dad always comments, there's way too much food here. And we don't care because then we have leftovers for days. I always make sweet potato casserole. That's my thing every time. I guess the sad part is I haven't had Thanksgiving at my parents' house for the last 3 years. And we're not going this year because COVID, and we decided we're going to keep people safe and not, travel down there. But it's always nice to that Wednesday afternoon, you kind of throw the things together that you can, like the salads, and you prep what you can so you don't have to do everything the next day. And then you eat around noon, 1 o'clock, and then all you do is just sit around and sleep in the afternoon. So,
tryptophan, is that it?
Yeah.
Tryptophan, tryptophan.
As an adult, I think there's something a little bit more exciting about, as a kid, you just sat there and waited for everyone to do it.
Yeah.
But when we moved out here, we were we're not doing anything. Mm-hmm. And so I've always enjoyed, Nate's asleep till noon, and I'm downstairs making a pie. There's something kind of fun about it. Because you don't make those foods all the time.
Oh yeah, and that's the best part about it. With all the different stuffing and mashed potatoes and gravy, and then you have 3 different kinds of vegetables, the gravy and casserole, and I said, sweet potato casserole, and all sorts of different foods that you don't usually make, and that's the only time you make it, when really you could make them at different times in the year.
That conversation a lot.
You have the freedom, but you don't think about it because it's a Thanksgiving type of dish.
Cheesy potatoes, I thought you could only eat at Christmas time until I was about 20.
Yeah,
it was an embarrassing moment when I realized I can make these whenever I want.
But
you just don't. You don't do it. And every once in a while, we'll make one of those sides, but
and then
I don't cook a turkey ever.
I guess another tradition that we have gotten into doing, which I never thought that we would, I swore we wouldn't, Black Friday shopping.
Yes.
Which, we don't, Stephen, so we'll only do it if we have somebody to watch the kids. And the last couple of years we've been with family where it's they're either at our house or we're up at Sioux Falls. We were up at Sioux Falls with Heidi and Austin, and my parents were there so they could watch the kids, and we got up super early. We got back before the kids were even awake, but we don't go out and actually get anything. We just go to be entertained,
observe.
really. Yeah, observe. We'll go and Steven's big thing is Menards. We don't need anything from Menards, but he's we gotta go and stand in line at Menards. And then we stand there, and then we walk in, and everyone's going crazy grabbing stuff. And there's all these cool different things that you don't need, but we're cool. So then we'll pick up a random pair of socks, or a random pair of gloves. Yeah, and we're they're the deals, right? You just grab what you can. But we never need anything. We're never on the hunt. I remember, I think maybe my mom went 1 year when we were little for I don't even remember what it was. Tickle Me Elmo. I don't know what it was.
Probably people died for that toy.
But she was all right, it's not worth it. Don't go if you don't need to go. No, we just, entertainment value.
Yeah, there's something fun about it, I think.
Yeah, you don't get up that early ever. Well, and then this year, I don't remember where I heard, but they're not doing deals on on Thanksgiving. A lot of places aren't, which is nice because you shouldn't. because that's the family day.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know.
We've
Yeah.
done that one a lot. We didn't do it as kids. My mom never woke up for
Yeah.
it. But once we got older, we would like kind of go out with my auntie and get Starbucks. That was really the main.
I think that's like get up way super
and
early,
you get your coffee and like just get those few little things. Kind
Yeah.
of.
Done by noon,
We
right?
but life hack, you can buy all your dog toys for dirt cheap on
Yeah.
Black Friday.
Yeah.
And then we hold them and then distribute them throughout the year.
Yeah.
So a couple weeks ago, I was like, here's the last one, Lucky.
and then you'll go get some more of this.
And we'll go
year.
get some more and it'll be great. And we decorate after Thanksgiving too, so that's
Yeah,
awesome.
see, that's like a November tradition. So the last like however many years, so 6 years that we've been married, for Stephen's birthday on the 11th, I try to have at least one tree done. We have more than one tree.
For multiple tree
But,
family.
yeah, multiple tree. But because Stephen says that each kid needs to have their own tree too, and I'm like, okay, I get to decorate it right now. I'm working on the second tree right now.
So you already have a tree up.
I already have one tree up.
Wow.
It's for Stephen's birthday.
Good
I have
for
a lot more
you.
to do though.
That's impressive.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I think for me, Thanksgiving, I can honestly say I look back at Thanksgiving memories fonder than I do Christmas memories growing up. Thanksgiving for us, like, it's funny because you guys both went to your dad's side.
Yeah.
So did we. Like that
Yeah,
was
what's the deal with that?
like that was their holiday.
Yeah.
Like Thanksgiving was my grandma. You know, she put out the turkey. She did everything. We all got together for the most part. Everyone who could. Sometimes my uncles couldn't make it because they lived further away, but we lived within 2 miles of my grandparents. So like we were always there. We were the family that was always going to be there. So yeah, Thanksgiving for us was always. So I miss it. I really do miss it a lot because my grandma's gone, and I will never have her stuffing again. And
Did
that
she have
is-
like a specific recipe? Like not
It's funny,
stovetop, because that's, I mean.
My husband says she cheated because she would use like a couple boxes of stovetop to get that flavoring.
Yeah.
But then she had
But she had her own like recipe and everything, and my aunt tried really, really hard to duplicate it, but it's just not the same.
not the
Like
same hands.
I know, I'm like, there's just something about her stuffing, and yeah, unfortunately, I've tried to duplicate it too. I just can't. So for us, it was very much, you know, like, and it's funny you talk about being a kid. How it very much was like we'd watch the parade, and you just wait. We'd wait till mom and dad said it was time to go to grandma's house. So we'd usually go there about an hour before the food was ready. But as a kid, you sit there and wait, but you smell all the smells, and like your stomach is going crazy the whole time. You can't wait to eat. And yeah, then we'd have a great spread for Thanksgiving, and then afterwards we would play games. You know, my aunt would kind of get the cousins together, and we'd all play games. I learned how to play spoons, which was absolutely
That's a legendary
fun.
moment.
Yes. So yeah, it was just such a fun family day. And it was nice because there were presents. So my grandma and grandpa, their present was, here's a $20 bill. Like seriously, like that's how my grandma shopped.
Watch out.
So we did get that. We usually did get that on Thanksgiving, but other than that, like there wasn't that whole anything with Christmas. In a way, it was more relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with Christmas, there's always that, like, we're going to eat as a family, and then, especially as a kid, you're, like, waiting around, like, okay, where are the presents? Like,
You're trying not to be that kid. Like,
yeah. And then the presents come, and then after the presents, it's like, okay, we have nothing else to live for. Let's go home.
Can we take this
But
out of the
with-
box?
yeah. But with Thanksgiving,
very true.
there isn't that. Like
Yes.
it's just a relaxing day. Then if anyone, what we would always do is we'll bring out the stuff at supper time. If anyone wants any of the leftovers,
Yes.
they can. But if you don't want it, if you just want pie, you can just eat pie.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, it's really kind of more
Yeah, it's
relaxed
just-
and carefree.
Mhm.
Laid back, yeah. The only thing that happened that, you know, in retrospect, I wish I would have gone over to the table is my grandma afterwards. She would spend probably a good hour just picking the turkey apart.
Oh yeah,
You
to
know,
get off the bone.
yes, to get all the stuff off of it. And so we'd all be doing our thing,
And she did
which
it.
Yeah.
sometimes meant like watching Home Alone or
Yeah.
some kind of Christmas movie because it was on TV then. But then, like, the grandma's over there the whole time, and I'm like, why didn't I just go over, sit, and talk to her? You know,
Yeah.
like we just didn't. It just, it was great. Of course, she might not have wanted it.
She might have wanted that moment.
I got my work to do.
Now, Nate's grandma was the one who picked the bird, so everything's gonna be, Nate, this is genetic, you guys. And then you talk about his nanny picking this bird, and I'm always like, okay, so every time, nope, that's Nate's job.
Yeah, it was just a fun family day. I think that's what I love about
That
Thanksgiving.
relaxing.
Yeah.
It is very relaxing. And now, kind of our tradition since we got married and we're not close enough to get back to family because we live far enough away that we can't do that. We've just always kind of made our own, like each kid has their dish that they make. So we make the dinner all together. And, as the kids have gotten older, they're more independent now, but even when they were little, it's kind of how they learned to do that. So it's always funny. It's always talking about, shall we just order Hy-Vee? And but it's like, no, we have to make our dish. So yes. And this year we have a special because Abigail was born, the year she was born, it was Thanksgiving Eve. So sometimes she gets the luckiness of having her birthday fall on Thanksgiving, and this is one of the years. So yes, it's that deciding. And it's funny, as she's gotten older, it's like, I asked her, do you want us to celebrate on your birthday or do you want to wait till Friday to celebrate it? But she can't make up her mind, so it might be a birthday cake.
Great girl.
It might be a birthday cake kind of night instead of a pumpkin pie night. I don't know. We'll see. So, yeah. Did you guys do lunch? So you guys did lunch.
Mm-hmm. We always
Birthday
No.
like
Ours was dinner.
Yeah.
Ours was usually dinner.
Yeah.
But, like I said, I didn't see my dad's family. I'd see him, I would, but I wouldn't, like, July, because half of us were born in July. November, Christmas. So, like, we never saw anybody. So we would get there after the Lions game.
Yes.
Which is
that's right. Sure.
2, 3 o'clock, and then by the time you sit down and eat.
Right.
So you have to watch the Lions. And, like, and even now, as, like, we're not in Detroit, and all my friends used to come to my house for Thanksgiving, like, come to my parents' house. Like, we always took friends home from college and stuff. And even now, like, Nate and I'm like, I don't do anything during this game. Nate's like, yes.
So they're playing this year?
Oh, they play. Detroit hosts a Thanksgiving game. So it's Detroit and Dallas always host.
Wow.
I don't know why the Lions have that. I can't tell me. They're awful. Yeah. But Detroit plays every year. And last year, a magical moment happened. Matthew Stafford was injured, which was not magical. The backup quarterback was a former Purdue quarterback who played in the game. David Blau played. And you would have thought Nate's life was complete. He's like, and he actually played really well. They won. Like, this was a big moment for Nate Benter because he cheered for the Lions real hard with me. But yeah, so most of my Thanksgiving revolves around watching that football game.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can have turkey in the oven while there's football.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd always have, it was always around 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Always.
A lot of families don't do that.
Yeah.
Like,
But I think it's such a
that.
big meal.
Yeah, it's such a big meal. And I feel like if we would wait until the evening, I don't know if we'd ever be able to sleep with a full set. Like, I mean, we eat a lot. Like, I just always remember going to my grandma's and filling our plates. And like the cousins' plates, we were just full. And we'd just be like, why did we take so much food?
Yes.
Like, take a little portion of every single thing and then go back for things that you want seconds of. But it was like, no. If we don't get it now, it's going to be gone. Because there would be some times where it'd be like, oh, the green bean casserole's all gone. Or, oh, there's no more rolls. And rolls are filling. Like, why do you need to pick up the rolls? Like, take the other stuff. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we'd sit around all afternoon miserable because
we're trying to sleep.
Yeah.
Let's see. So what are you thankful for this year? Do you have any special plans this year? COVID-related
COVID
plans?
safe.
Yeah, COVID safe. There you go. COVID safe plans this year.
Well, Nate and I are going to walk in the morning. We're going to get Clue Lucky up. Once Nate wakes up, I'm not going to wake him up to go walk, or he's going to be like, this is the worst day ever.
So do you walk, are you planning on waking up earlier than normal, or just making...
I just wake up when I wake up,
Yeah.
and then we go. If you run in Detroit, you have to be down there at like 4 a.m.
Do you really?
And you could do that. Like, we signed up for like a virtual 5K, so we can get like the swag, because it's all about the swag.
That's what I'm thinking about doing that too, yeah.
And I wanted to sign up for the one in Detroit, because they were doing it virtually, and Nate was like, I am not paying $45 for an experience I'm not even getting. So I was like, fair. 25 I could talk him into. So yeah, we're gonna get a cool sweatshirt thing, and we'll wake up and we'll do that. But I've enjoyed, as much as I miss Detroit, and if someone asked me every year, where would you want to be? I'd want to be in Detroit. I've enjoyed my time with just my husband on Thanksgiving. Our first year, my brother came over, which was great. Last year, his car was stolen.
I remember that story.
That's another story for another time. But his car was stolen, so he couldn't come.
Yeah.
Because, anyway, it was just a little drug deal. It's fine.
It didn't happen here.
It happened in Des Moines. But, like, so his car was stolen, so he couldn't come. So last year, it was literally an entire Thanksgiving feast and just Nate and I. But I've enjoyed that time, just the two of us and just our stuff. And I look forward to that time because he doesn't get a lot of time off of work, so we don't get very many days where I'm not doing school or he's going to work.
Yeah.
Like, it's one or the other. In the summer, I'm really free, but he's still at work all the time. And Thanksgiving is one of those times where we just sit down. We talked about it at Easter. Nate goes along with all of my shenanigans. So he will decorate a tree, and he'll get real into things, and he'll do all the things he needs to do to, like, help my little self get excited.
Yes.
I feel like this whole semester of school has just been nuts. And I was talking to one of the teachers this morning even about it. How Thanksgiving break is going to get here on Wednesday, and I'm not going to know what to do. Because we're not going to do anything for 5 full days. Like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We really have nothing planned. And so, like, we're not going anywhere. So we're not going to be going to my parents' house. Stephen's parents, they had asked if they could come down, and we said, you know, with everything that's going on in Madison County, we don't feel comfortable with them coming. And so, I mean, we'll probably bake a turkey, because Stephen does that. Like, I don't even know. I haven't even offered to do it because Stephen's always since our first Thanksgiving when we were married and we had it in Sterling, and my whole family, my parents and sister and Austin came out, like, he's like, I'm making the turkey. Every year he's made the turkey. I haven't had to touch it. So if he's not going to give it to me, I'm not going to offer. Maybe I'm a terrible wife, but I'll clean and stuff, but no, so I don't know. I think I'm more excited. I mean, it's Marion's first Thanksgiving, so that'll just be fun. So we'll make all sorts of food, and then Eliza and Silas won't eat any of it. They'll probably have chicken nuggets.
That is so true. You literally make the food for the adults because the kids are like,
And then I think what we'll probably do is, like, if we have most of our Christmas, like, we've gotten to the habit of, like, getting Christmas presents throughout the school year, or throughout the whole year. We'll probably wrap some this weekend, so maybe not on Thanksgiving, but wrap some during, so that we can stick it under the tree that is already up. And then we're all ready for Christmas. I'll probably watch some Hallmark movies. Yeah, so
I'm looking forward to that rest.
yeah, me too.
Like we said, Thanksgiving's just always relaxing, and every teacher needs Thanksgiving break right now.
I know.
Well, and the kids need Thanksgiving break. They are tired.
And some of the students, just yesterday, they were like, "Oh, it's like 4 days or however many days until Christmas break." And I was like, "Guys, there's Thanksgiving break's right around the corner. I don't know why you're focused on Christmas right now, because I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving." So, we're just gonna be in town, hanging out. Cleaning the house, probably, because our house is always a mess.
like the kids.
Or just in general. I don't have kids. My house is always a mess. I don't know how it happens.
You have dogs.
Yeah.
No, it's not even that. It's just like random things. It's just long. We talked about that in the wedding episode. We've tried so hard. I'm not saying I'm super neat, but Nate puts me to shame. How about you, Jess?
I think, I really want to do I've seen the stuff for the virtual 5K. My kids are old enough, like, they can do this.
Do you want to join our team,
So
Pumpkin Spice Society?
Is that what you're doing? There's
I
a
want to
bunch
join
out
too.
there.
If you're going to do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I'll send you the link and you can all be on my team. Everyone can be on my team.
Is this supposed supposed to be pretty nice.
It's supposed to be pretty nice, and it's called the Stuffed Turkey 5K.
Yeah, so
I'll get Steven.
Then you could be on a team, and
You
the
get
team
BJ.
name
We'll all just do it.
I chose was Pumpkin Spice Society.
I like that.
So I'll send you guys the link.
Sounds good.
I'll send everyone the link.
I think, I think that's something that we can do this year that we haven't done before. And I'd like to make something new this year because it is a little odd. Now, we, of course, because of my husband's job and how far we live from our family, like I already said, we're always home anyway. So that's not going to be different for us. Like I said, it's Abigail's birthday, so we will incorporate that into it. The big thing that's going to change for us is usually her godparents trying to make the trek up here. They're from our former congregation, so they're close enough. It's a couple hours, but they are always really good about coming to see her on her birthday. So I haven't emailed them yet, but I need to email them and say, with the levels that we're having here, it's probably not safe for them to come up here. And that's going to be really, I haven't told Abigail, she's going to be upset about it. But so that for us is our big COVID change. But, we'll have a good time. We'll make the food, we'll eat it. Now, unfortunately, when they're little, they don't eat it. But man, when they get older, they each have their dish, and that's usually the one they like the most. So like Nathaniel, demolishes the 7-layer salad. That is his thing. He makes, and then he eats it all. And then, Abigail makes the apple pie, or not apple pie, the pumpkin pie. And she likes that, but we probably have that around for a little bit. But yeah, you don't have as many leftovers. It's funny because you bring up the leftovers there isn't as many as there used to be. So just kind of nice that we don't have to try to find those recipes. But yeah, we'll do that, and then I'll probably get online and do some Black Friday, Thanksgiving shopping. Because when your kids are older, they also want more expensive gifts. So I found that those Black Friday deals on electronics and stuff, those are lifesavers when you're on a budget. So we'll probably do that. Watch the parade. I assume the parade's still happening. I don't even know.
I don't know if we've heard. Yeah, because I usually watch
a parade can be socially distanced. I would assume there's no fans at the parade, like spectators. Miracle on 34th Street doesn't make sense anymore, children. I watch that movie usually on Thanksgiving, and Nate's like, this movie's awful.
I like it.
I love that one. No, I like the one from the 90s more than I like the
I do too. Yeah.
That girl who plays Susan is just... She's hilarious. I hope I can have a child like her. Only reason I'd have a kid, that child, to be recreated.
So I hope everyone out there gets to just enjoy the day, whether it's different. I know it's all going to be different for us all in various ways. I heard that they are going to do Black Friday shopping, but they're really pushing the online this year, and so everything is going to be different. And we've learned now that we have to be patient and wait for this thing to be over with. And we just have to get used to the unnormal of not normal. I don't know how to put that. It's a crazy time, but at the same time, it's a good time to embrace new traditions and new things. So if it's the virtual 5K, I am all about it.
Pumpkin Spice Society. Everyone wants to join me.
Because that'll work. Because then we're on your team, but we don't have to go at the same time or anything. It's
just go whenever you want. You can walk it on a treadmill. You can walk it outside. Nate did the Omaha Turkey Trot virtually last year, and he had to go run past all of his friends' houses. I don't know. and it was icing that day, and he came in. He's like, "It's so cold." I'm like, well, because I told him he couldn't have a sweatshirt till he ran the 5K. It's like having dessert before dinner. I'm like, come on, buddy.
I love it. I'm going to go ahead and say my Bible verse that I chose was Philippians 4:6-7. I'm going to read it here on the Bible app. Do not be anxious about anything, but everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. I think I've been anxious about a lot lately. It's the past couple of weeks, just a lot going on. It's just anxious about a lot, and it's so easy to think about that stuff and let it just take over my mind, what I'm anxious about. But what I like about this is he's taught, here, pray, do not be anxious about anything and everything, pray with and supplication. But then he says with thanksgiving. I know when I'm really anxious, the last thing I usually think about is being thankful. Like, it's hard sometimes to find things that you're thankful for when you're all worked up about various things. And so I just thought that was awesome, that how important that is for us to find the things to be thankful for, whether it's the sun shining or it's a kid's smile or, I don't know, your dog greeting you in the morning. Like, there's always something to be thankful for. And most importantly, to be thankful that God is here hearing this prayer. He's with me during this anxious time. You know, if nothing else, to just be thankful that you have Him there with you and that you can talk to Him about that. So there's always something to be thankful for. And I think what I like too is it also incorporates, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. And I found, like, when I am focused more on my blessings instead of what I don't have, I am a lot more at peace. Like, I'm just more at peace and more calm. So I like that it incorporated it all together. So for me, I don't know, this has been a verse that, for someone who is an anxious person, like, this has been the verse that's gotten me through a lot. So yeah, I'm glad I could use it today. So
I'm going to piggyback off of you because I think mine does. So I chose Psalm 9, verse 1. I will give thanks to you, O Lord, with all my heart. I will tell of all your wonderful deeds. And same thing, there are so many things to be thankful for. I get a new classroom in just a few days, but my brain so constantly is thinking, well, what's going to happen with this? What am I going to do? I have 7 students out today. What am I going to do with this? I'm tired. I forgot to load that on the Google Classroom. Can you everyone wait for a second? And I think sometimes I forget to turn this and everything give thanks. There's a lot of bad things going on every day, not just in a pandemic. But to turn and say, I'm going to give thanks for this, and also I'm going to look at all those wonderful things. Because right now, it's very easy to be like, well, I'm not thankful. I have to wear a mask, right? I know a lot of middle schoolers who will say, I'm not thankful for masks, right? And I have to tell kids to put their mask on all the time, and I had to teach in a modular for 2 years. I could talk about that for a long time. But there's so many amazing things that I don't even pay attention to, that I take for granted, that I need to be thankful for. And those are part of all of those wonderful deeds. So just refocusing is hard. Yeah. Especially during a worldwide pandemic. And that's usually how, and we're in a pandemic.
And everything with the climactic elephant in the room.
Yeah.
I think, like, it's really hard to get out of the habit of complaining. Even just with the last couple of weeks, venting about things, like, I've caught myself a lot of times at school or at home, whether we're talking about students or school in general or church or, I don't know, parents or siblings. I'm not talking, like, this isn't first-hand experience. Some of it might be, but not everything. Every single example, I've complained about every single one of those things in the last 3 days.
We're all on top.
Yeah, there's just so many kids. I will say I've complained about some of my kids for a little while, but I think it's really easy to be creatures of habit of finding things to complain about. Partly because when you're able to vent about those things, it is kind of a stress reliever, but is it a healthy stress reliever? So as a reminder with Thanksgiving coming up, it's nice to be like, okay, what are the positive things about what's going on in the world? So my verse I chose was from Daniel 2:23. I thank and praise you, God of my ancestors. You have given me wisdom and power. You have made known to me what we asked of you. You have made known to us the dream of the king. And the first part of that, I thank and praise you, God of my ancestors, knowing that God has been there for everyone up until this point, and he'll be there for everyone past where we are. So, like, that thought in itself is just nice to think that we're not alone in this. This probably isn't the first time that people are complaining about the things that you're complaining about. But for you, it might feel like this is the first time, with the pandemic, this is the first time we've gone through this as a population. And so it's easy to just get tied down to this thought that woe is me. When there's been other instances in history where people have gone through this type of thing, and I don't want to say that they got through it, but the world got past it. And so just knowing that God's here for us now, but he was here for those, before and hopefully after us. Unless till kingdom come, I guess. But then the next part, you have given me wisdom and power. You have made known to me what we asked of you. And so that got me thinking, there's a lot of things that we ask God for. There's a lot of requests that we make, and sometimes we're not happy with the answers he gives us. But it's important to remember that he does give us answers, whether it's what we want to hear or what we don't want to hear. And so thinking back to the summer when we were like, yes, we're hoping that this ends. We're hoping that we get back on track. Maybe this answer of it not being on track yet is something to think about. I mean, just to consider that maybe there's a lot more that we need to learn as a society that God wants us to realize. And it has to just kind of be on his timeline. Yeah.
I'm really.
Yeah. So.
I mean, we're getting late, and I'm like really like, whoa.
I know. So I had to remind myself a lot over the last couple of weeks that it's okay to not be okay, because as a whole, we're not okay.
Nothing's okay.
Yeah.
So, and then the last part, you have made known to us the dream of the king. And so that part just got me thinking, like, what is the dream of the king in this situation? Like, what is that final outcome that he wants us to realize? I don't know if we know that yet. So, yeah, I really liked that verse when I came over it.
Very good. So yeah. Well, we thank you for joining us again. Before we get too long, we should probably cut it off. But we do wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. I have no idea yet if we're going to tape next one and it's going to go up on Thanksgiving. I don't know. I know that things are being planned for Thanksgiving. I should have watched my husband's devotion this morning, but I think he made announcements about church. So if you have not seen that, make sure you tune into that, and I'm sure the church will be putting out an email if they haven't already about kind of what's going forward in the future, kind of what the plan is. I can tell you that Thanksgiving right now, they're not going to have the normal Thanksgiving Eve service, so that will probably be online, but I also know that Mr. Whitney and BJ are working on some programming ideas to help celebrate Thanksgiving, and some fun things, and also obviously some praising God for what he has done. So tune in. There's a lot more stuff coming at you. Thankfully, we have the internet to be thankful for. And
Could you imagine this like 1970?
You really cut off.
The economy would have been done.
Really cut off.
So yeah,
Amazon
stay
would've
tuned. Stay tuned, and thank you guys. We'll see you. Hopefully we'll see you again.
Yeah.
Bye.